YouTube Sergiaczko Momo YouTube channel, gdzie ja rozpowiadaję swoje wywiady tonki protonowitych muzykantów z całego świata, jak w domach, tak i małych domach artystów. Ja opisaję wam, czy nowe publika, що ви не будете розчаровані зовсім. Приєднуйтесь до мого каналу, де підписуйтесь, де викривайте разом зі мною талановитих артистів. Now, my next reaction of today, I'm quite excited because I think that this is going to be one of my first kind of national live performances of Ukrainian dance. And this is called, dance assembly, Ukrainian dance assembly is called, I think it's Virsky or Virsky. And it says Virsky in France, hopak that shock Parisians. And it says the great performance by the Ukrainian national folk dance ensemble Virsky in Palais, congrès de Palais, December 8th, 2018. Ukrainian beautiful girls and brave boys Cossacks made really wonderful show that surprised Paris, the famous hopak dance, colourful clothes, and extremely joyful, atmospheric. It was incredible. So that is what I'm going to see. And you know what? I know what's going to happen when I react to this, especially for my non-Ukrainian subscribers. There's going to be a lot of questions of, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know that was Ukrainian dance. I thought that was, that's what I'm expecting. And if I'm expecting that, then it only shows that there's a hell of a lot of things that Europeans need to know what is what culture from what countries. Because there's a lot of things that's as you know, from other countries do it. They take things, I can tell you a whole decent history about things, certainly in the religious factor, where they've taken certain stories from other stories and made it their own. Yeah? I don't know, it happens. There's a lot of countries that claim, I claim that because, yep. Oh, I claim that, yeah. Oh, that's nice, I claim that. And then they suppress the area where they came from, trying to make them weak. And it's only down to the heart and the courage and the soul of those people who they're trying to depress. And I'm not talking about a particular country, it happens everywhere around the world. But depending on the character and the strongness and the courageous religious background or the storyline of of the bloodline of that particular country shows the strength of that country, and they always will persevere. And the traditional values, whether it be folk music or whatever have you, and will always be carried out and always will be the forefront out of any country. And that's why stories in history is an important factor of telling the young ones and the younger generations for it to continue breathing and living on. Whether it be in a dance, whether it be there is a documentary of, I'll give you an example. There's this quickly. There's this documentary, I'll let you know about later on. And this man went over to Africa and he noticed that out in the sticks, this tribe was doing this particular dance. And he showed it from a bird's eye view. And this guy was an astrology. And this tribe was actually doing a dance of a pattern of a star moving around Pluto. And they've been doing this dance for like 300 years. And they said that this is a map of a distant planet. A planet which it was a very, very dark planet and which only shows itself every like 100 years or whatever. And NASA took a pinpoint at it. And long and behold, they saw that black planet, what they was talking about. So storylines, pictures, caves and walls, dresses, embroideries, it all tells a very, very important storyline for it to continue to the younger generations. Sometimes the unlocking the code is lost, but certainly the factor and the relic and the artifact is certainly there for you to unlock. So there you go, for instance, the red boots. I didn't know about that, but I do now. So look, without further ado, you know what we're here for. Great vocal ups and a massive, brilliant dancing vibe going on. Can you dig it? Look at the massive embroidery at the back. I swear there was something similar at the Royal Variety Show. I can't remember what year it was. And believe it or not, some of these moves was used in breakdancing in the late 1980s. And you certainly know where MC Hammer got his trousers from. That's what I'm saying. He did invent them. Thank you for letting me know about the boots. That move there has transcended in so many different countries, but not that move. Bloody hell. That's definitely a Cossack thing, isn't it? You did it after drinking. You shouldn't be doing that, bro. Showing his flexibility. Also showing that he doesn't want kids. Now that's a lot of effort and skills right there. I don't care what anybody's level. Once again, MC Hammer, you got a lot of questions to answer for, you know? Okay. So is it soft feet in these boots? They look very, certainly the men, they look very soft leather. Almost like ballet footing. I'm not too sure about the women. I know they've certainly got heels on them. Is it low heels? And different colours, different seasons, different regions. I'm looking at the embroidery patterns as well. Have they not all got different embroidery patterns on the front? Okay, you should be able to do that, bro. Once again, I think that's a movement that you do after a drink to show that you're still focused. Question. Listen to the music when the men come on and different from when the women come on. Okay, that's brilliant. And like I said, once again, you see that in like jazz moves. Okay. The agility that you've got to have just for that move right there. That's leg movements, that's muscles, that's everything. Don't give me flowers yet, they ain't finished. No, amazing. know you've got a lot of questions to ask as well. I know. Right, let's look at the embroidery at the front. They are all different, aren't they? That move right there is just crazy difficult. Do you see that move? Yeah. In the 80s we called that the Wedgie Rabbit. Bobby Brown done it in Every Little Step I Take. See, that's that guy that don't want to have children. Clear. I believe that was Virsky. Not Virsky, that's English pronouncing Phoenix. So is it Virsky? So let's go back to this. Virsky in France, the hopac that shot Parisians. It shocked me because I saw so many things that was used in the 80s and 90s and 20s and even up to this day still used in some kind of modern fashion sense from other countries. Like I said, it's beautiful when you can go to another country and see inspirations of another country within that country in whatever fashion. It could be a window, it could be anything. It's amazing. It's rapping, singing, dancing, but it's lovely to see that. But it's way how they got there. If it was introduced to them, fine. But if it was just robbed and taken and then someone claimed it as their own, then that's something completely different. And I think that there's a lot of things, if things shock you in this music video, thinking, wait a minute, hold on, then you know that was a rob. It's as simple as that. Did MC Hammer say, whoa, this design, well, I got it over from Ukraine because I saw these Ukrainian, you know, the American accent. And I thought that's what I've got to do and copy it. Because he made stupid amount of money from that. Not only that, because of that song, it was worldwide known and there was a fashion sense. Every urban person must have had the MC Hammer trousers. That's what they called it, MC Hammer trousers. How much of a cheek is that when you see the clothing right there in front of your eyes? It ain't an MC Hammer trousers no more, is it? The dance movements, the man who don't want to have children. Yeah, that is just like, what? Not only have a dance move, also, so this is what I've caught on to. And this is from me watching Cossack films as well, Carpathian films. That when there is, you know, the masculinity comes into play, when the men is drinking, dancing, fighting, shooting, and telling stories of old. And when it comes to the challenges, there's always some kind of, even the dancers, there's always some kind of they're absolutely alcoholically, like way beyond speech, but they're speaking and then walking and everything else, like drunkenness where we'll be passed out. Yeah. And then from there, when you're at that brink, it's like, okay, let's test your manhood. Let's see if you can still ride a horse. Let's see if you can still walk in a straight line. Let's see if you can still move in the way how you should be. Just like if we're on the war and we, you know, because if you're in battle, then you should be on alert on every 24 hours. So if you like to drink, we'll see if you fight when you're absolutely drunk, because that's when, you know, it's that kind of thing. So I feel that all these difficult dance routines was done when they're absolutely magically drunk. Yeah. And not only that, I'm feeling and the only reason why I say that as well, because like I said, the movies that I watch, but in particular, the way how the song's being played as well. Because if you look at it, back in them days, the Carpathians, when they was playing music, you know, tremendous musicians, they was also drunk. You know, there's plenty of times when you're happy and joyous, you know, a man on a piano in a pub day, he's got a pint or a number of pints on top of the piano. It's like, the more and more he drinks, the more beautiful his creations are, the way how he sings and plays the songs. But I saw that when the men was doing certain spectacular moves, the music kind of slowed down in a kind of format that as a kind of a person that's under the influence will be playing the song. So it wasn't like, it was like, and that's when the guys were doing these absolutely magical, these like defeating gravity movements, yeah? And I thought that, okay, that's, for me, it reminds me of, okay, like I said, you're completely drunk. Now let's see how alert you are. Let's see your agility. Let's see how controlled you are. Because no matter where you are and what time, you got to always be ready. So this is where, and the challenges and everything came from. I really do believe that. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I'm saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. Overall, magical performances, and no wonder it shocked Paris. Because there was mostly millions of questions which they thought was, what they thought was, until they saw this performance, it was like, wow, which blew everything what I thought was out the water. And now there's so many brilliant questions that I need to ask on this performance alone. And I'm sure you guys will as well. And I haven't even talked about the females yet. The embroideries on the clothing. I think that the different embroideries, which only because that I done the reaction on the female embroideries and the dresses. So it's the regions. First of all, I thought, no, it's the seasons. No, it's the region. It represents where they are from different. Okay, some of them have the same embroideries and some of them have different embroideries on there. I'm talking about at the front part. So I need information on that. I don't want to go back to the reaction of what I did regarding the embroidered dresses. I want to try it in my brain to think, oh, yes. It's regions and seasons. But I think the men, what's the blue representing? Is it representing regarding the sky, the flag? Or because I know what the red is. So what's the blue on the men? I am going to send a message to MC Hammer and I'm going to show him this. And I say, MC Hammer, why? Why, sir? Why? I wish that I'm not too sure that there's a lot of movement from the men, but I wish that there was some kind of spectacular thing what the women do as well. Yes, there's very unison, but I didn't see any kind of individually creative style, which I'm sure that the women do have, but I think it was anything that was acrobatic, it was down to the men. And anything that was unison and pretty and lovely and flowers and everything, that was the women. But overall, it was a spectacular event. It reminded me of like the same thing what the Shaolin monks do when they perform, but obviously a different kind of aspect because it's two different kind of countries. But it's what they present and bring onto the platform, onto the table that makes, and when they leave is the impact of what they leave. This is the massive impact. And for that reason, I salute you. Boom!